Losing a job is it's incredibly tough. And honestly, when you're already dealing with that, the last thing you want is to stare at a mountain of paperwork trying to figure out how to get financial support.
And if you're feeling completely overwhelmed by the UIF process, trust me, you are not alone. The system has a bit of a reputation, right? But it's a critical safety net, and it's money that you've already paid into. So getting what you're owed is really, really important.
So, my goal here is to cut through all of that confusion and give you a clear, simple plan. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to take and, more importantly, point out all the common traps so you can get this done right the first time. Let's start at the beginning.
So, first stop, what actually is the UIF? We hear the term all the time, but let's quickly break down what it means for you.
Okay, so the Unemployment Insurance Fund, or UIF, is basically a big national savings pot. Every month you were working, both you and your employer were paying a small percentage into it. It's designed to give you some financial breathing room if you lose your job or can't work for other reasons, like maternity leave. The key thing to remember is this: it's not a handout. It's your money, put aside for exactly these kinds of situations.
Right. Before you even think about filling out a single form, we need to get two things sorted. First, are you even eligible? And second, do you have all the right paperwork ready to go? Nailing this first part will save you a massive headache later on.
So, before we gather any documents, let's answer the most important question of all. Do you actually qualify? Let's run through the checklist. You'll want to pay close attention here because this is where a lot of applications stumble right out of the gate. The reason you left your job is absolutely critical. If you are retrenched or your contract ended, you're generally in the clear. But, and this is a big but, if you resigned or you were dismissed for misconduct, you unfortunately won't be eligible. Oh, and don't forget that 12-month deadline. You have to apply within a year of becoming unemployed, so don't wait too long.
All right, if you tick all those boxes, that is fantastic news. Now, the next step is to get all of your documents in order. Let's think of this as getting your application toolkit ready.
Okay, here is your essential checklist. Obviously, you need your ID, but I want you to really focus on two forms here. The UI-19 is vital. It's the official form from your old boss saying you no longer work there. And the UI 2.8 is just as important because that's how they know which bank account to send the money to. Get those, your proof that you're looking for work, and your service letter, and you're good to go.
Okay, with your document toolkit ready, you've got two main choices for how to actually submit everything. Let's walk through both of them.
So, you can either apply online using the U-Filing website, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and go in person to a Department of Labor center. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you have any way of getting online, please use the U-Filing portal. It lets you skip the legendary queues and you can actually track your application's progress. Going in person means physical documents and, more often than not, incredibly long waits.
And look, if you think I'm exaggerating about those queues, just read this. This is from a real person who shared their story. 5 hours of waiting, only to be told to go home and come back at 3 a.m. That is the kind of stress and frustration we want to help you avoid.
So if you go the online route, which I really hope you do, it's actually pretty straightforward. First, you'll just create a profile on the U-Filing website. Then you'll upload all those documents we just talked about. Once you hit submit, this system does its thing, and the best part is that last step. You are not left in the dark. You can log in anytime and see exactly where your application is at.
And now we get to what might be the most valuable part of this entire guide. We're going to look at the common, frustrating mistakes that cause all those crazy delays and cancellations, and, more importantly, how you can avoid them.
Because the stakes are incredibly high. I mean, listen to this person's story. A 5-month battle, claims just canceled with no explanation. This is the kind of bureaucratic nightmare that can happen when just one tiny detail is out of place. Let's make sure this doesn't happen to you. All right, here are the 4 biggest tripwires. First, mismatched details. Even one wrong letter in your name or a swapped number in your ID can get your claim kicked out. Everything has to match perfectly. Second, make sure you have the right forms and all the documents. Third, don't just assume your old employer did their part. Give them a quick, polite call to confirm. And finally, this is a huge one that catches so many people. Do not submit the continuation of benefit form until after you get your very first payment. It feels wrong, but that's how the system works.
Okay, so you've done everything right. You've submitted a perfect application. What happens now? Let's talk about timelines and what you can realistically expect.
Now, take a deep breath because this is a really important number to manage your expectations.
After you submit, it can take anywhere from 20 to 45 working days just for your file to land on an assessor's desk. This isn't the approval time, this is literally just the time spent waiting in the queue. So, you're going to need a bit of patience.
Once it finally gets to an assessor, they'll review everything. If it's all good and you get approved, that first payment should be processed within about 7 to 10 working days. And remember, this isn't a one-and-done deal. To keep the payments coming, you have to submit that continuation form, the UI-6A, every single month to prove you're still unemployed.
And now for the question nobody wants to ask, but everyone needs to know the answer to. What on earth do you do if, after all of that, your claim is refused?
Okay, listen very closely because the words refused and rejected mean two totally different things to the UIF. If your claim is refused, it means they're saying no based on an eligibility rule, like you applied too late. You can appeal that decision. But if your claim is rejected, that just means not yet. It means you made a mistake, like you forgot a document. You don't appeal that. You just fix the mistake and send it in again. It's a huge difference.
So, if we boil it all down, it comes to this. Check and double-check every single detail. Apply online if you possibly can, and try to be patient while also being proactive. It's a tough process, for sure, but being prepared makes all the difference. You can do this.
And one final critical piece of advice, always get your forms and your information straight from the source. The Department of Employment and Labor's official website is the only place you should go for the latest, most accurate documents and rules.
Look, navigating this system is a real challenge, but just remember that this is a safety net you've paid into. If this guide helped clear things up for you, please give it a like and share it with anyone else you know who might be feeling lost right now. And subscribe for more essential guides just like this one. Thanks for watching.